Hello, a very good morning, students. This is your English teacher Rohit sir, giving you today's lecture video class on the topic of chapter 9 from your first flight book story Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valli Kannan, a Tamil writer as well as author. The story is written in Tamil only, later it is translated by K.S. Sundaram with the words of English. Here, the main character, the little 8-year-old girl child named Valli, whose real name is Vallimai, has clearly been focused in the story, who is fond of having bus ride for once in her life as desired. The headlines what we are to get in today's class like the title, introduction of the story, summary of the story, and at last the impact what put on us like the readers. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to the listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 to 18 years, get vaccinated with the new Omicron variant of coronavirus, causing concern. Please continue to follow these three simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 गज की दूरी for social distancing, focus on hands and face hygiene. For any COVID related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers like 01123978046 and 1075. And now the class in detail. To be started the story, we have the introduction of the story. The lesson Madam Rides the Bus is about a brave 8-year-old who had a strong desire and along with it the courage to fulfill it. So from here we come to know that the girl has two choices. Number 1, her desire, and number 2, her courage to fulfill that. She liked gazing at the hustle and bustle of the street, and her favorite part was the sight of a bus arriving and departing. Thus, she developed a deep desire to travel by bus. So, she gets satisfactory from where? From seeing the arrival and the departure of the buses gone to the way of city. So this makes her very happy, very pleasant. Thus, she developed a deep desire to travel by bus. For that, she needed all sorts of information about the bus journey, collect the bus fare, and then plan it so that she could be back at home before her mother woke up from her afternoon nap. Nap in the sense of short sleep during daytime, like afternoon especially. So, what she planned? She planned that she would start her bus riding during her mother afternoon nap because she doesn't want to inform even her mother about her desire. Maybe her mother would not allow her to do so. That's why she secreted the matter in front of her mother also. Thus, the story brings us recounts of how innocently but responsibly she fulfilled her deepest desire and her experiences on the bus ride. How an incident makes her realize the reality of death. Before, she was very happy to take a ride over the bus, but when she completed her journey and came back to her home, she is totally changed just because of facing the reality of life. And what is the reality of life? Difference between death and life. So, the gap between death and life makes her realize that it is very difficult to get together with the situation of unhappiness and the happiness both. So, both are very different. Unhappiness gives you the reality of your life, and happiness makes you fool to forget from your reality. That's the difference between the gap. Next, the summary of the story. The lesson is about an 8-year-old girl named Valli who did not have friends to play with, and so she would spend her time by looking at the outside affairs going on the street. As she doesn't have any friends, she is passing her times looking at the street when buses comes from the city and go from the village to the city. Her favorite part was to look at the bus that passed by her village every hour. It gave her endless joy to look at the new set of passengers each time the bus crossed by. So it gives enjoyment to her when she sees a set of passengers carried over the bus because she was expecting someday she would ride on the bus and would feel the same pleasure what they receive. Gradually, even she wished to travel by bus. Soon, the wish turned into a desire, and therefore, she made it her mission to fulfill it. Her desire was normal before, but gradually, when it is gathered one after one each day, what she did, she targeted that. Now that is her desire, strong desire, and she took oath anyhow she would fulfill her desire someday, but she doesn't know when would the day come. She started listening to the conversations between her neighbors who frequently traveled by bus and in the process would ask a few careful questions. Therefore, she started planning and replanning so that she could sneak out during her mother's afternoon nap and come back without her knowing anything. She started planning, okay, I need to do these all things, this. Again, she reshuffled her plan. She replanned again to rectify her doubts or problems, what she thought. Then after that, she successfully planned them up and started to go for her journey. She needed to save the money, which was not easy as she had to resist the temptation of candy, peppermint, and merry-go-round. Finally, she saved enough money, and one fine day, the brave 8-year-old took the bus during its not very busy hours. And it is known from here that how she collected the bus fare. Whenever village fair or the fairs had been organized, she was not allowed to take or purchase anything from the fair or the fairs. The things like candy, peppermint, and all, and the enjoyment for merry-go-round and other giant wheels also were there, she never saw over them just because of one particular aim, that she has to gather her money and she has to deposit her money just because of bus fare. Okay, it is longingly saved the amount for the dream, what she dreamed. Okay, then after that, finally she got the day and took the chance. She refused to take any help from the conductor or fellow passengers. It was an amusing sight for everyone to see such a small girl all alone acting like an adult. The conductor was of the joking sort and thus referred to Valli as a grown up madam. So, as it was first time for her to ride over the bus, still she didn't take any help from any, like the conductor or any other passenger of the bus. So, this type of attitude or behavior makes clear to all the passengers and the conductor, especially, that she is just like a madam because she behaves like a madam and her attitude is also like a madam. Clear? So, jokingly, the conductor named her madam. From there, it is named to the title Madam Rides the Bus. Clear, students? Okay, then after that, the conductor was of the joking sort and thus referred to Valli as a grown up madam. Short heighted Valli would stand on her seat to be able to see clearly from the window, while everyone advised her to sit for her own safety. She entering to the bus and standing on her feet to look everything about the outside from the bus. This behavior made other passengers very angry and tensed that she might be falling and getting hurt anytime. So they restricted her not to stand up and tell her to sit over her seat only for her safety. Each time someone would poke their nose in her business, Valli would get annoyed as she did not consider herself a child. She did not want to be friends with an elderly lady who was worried about her because she thought she was not socially capable. So, as it is the bus journey, several type of passengers you could see during the journey, like Valli. Valli saw different type of passengers and she decided not to talk with them because they are very different. They are very different in nature and behavior, and this is not accepted by the little girl Valli. So she decided she would not talk with them because their body gesture, their behavior, their the way how they talk are not accepted. So they are not just like social animal. They are behavior like very uneducated people. After that, so that is not enough for her to get them socially accepted. She enjoyed seeing what was going on outside, and the sight of a running cow in the middle of a road was abruptly a funny scenario for her. While journey over the bus, she saw one cow was running in the middle of the road from here to there or there to here. So it was very funny for her because first time she is seeing the scene of that cow, what it did. Upon reaching the town, she refused to get down the bus because she was too afraid to do so alone. While returning, she carried extreme enthusiasm until she saw a cow lying lifeless on the road. Now, while she was returning from the same bus, she saw the cow running in the middle of the road. That time was dead. The dead body of the cow was lying down on the road, and she was totally disturbed seeing the scene of the dead body. Okay, and what she did, she was totally silent. It was, just like unexpected for her to see the scene without life. And Valli got terrified at the fact that how a creature so full of life can instantly turn into something horrible. She sat down silently for rest of the journey. Upon reaching home, she found her mother and aunt talking about the endless possibilities in the world outside. Now she is very silent, she is disturbed, she is tensed. Already when she reached the town or the city, she didn't take anything like any juice or milk during the afternoon time because she decided that she has to go and she would reach her home within the time. So she saved her money for both the rides. So after that, when she comes back to her home, she sees that the auntie from the south block of her village and her mother were conversing, were talking to each other for something. For what? For outside world. Because what we believe about the inside world is totally different from the outside world. They are conversing to each other that the outside world is very different. There is endless possibility, or there are endless possibilities what we could not expect anyhow. And regarding the reply of their discussion or conversation, Valli affirmed to what her mother was saying, leaving both of them astonished. She then justified her reaction by mentioning that she was casually agreeing to what her mother was saying. So she replied to her mother conversation because her mother was very confirmed about the outside world, and Valli affirmed her mother that yes, she's right and the outside world is very different from the inside. She then justified her reaction by mentioning that she was casually agreeing to what her mother was saying. Her aunt then referred to Valli as a nose poking child who acts like a grown up lady. But only Valli knew what she was referring to because, after all, no one knew about her birth journey. Giving the reply to her mom conversation, her auntie said that Valli was interfering. Valli was interrupting to their conversations. But actually, it was not like that. Valli was seeing another thing, and she is still in the deep trauma of the incident. And on the basis of that trauma incident, she is replying and she is affirming to her mother. But actually, they didn't get the point why Valli said like that. even Wally ignored to join them. And like that, the story ends over here. That's all we come to know from the story, that how Wally received the harsh reality of life instantly, and she could easily differ between the situations. The situation like happiness and the situation like unhappiness. And there is vast difference between them. Then students, we have this much. Hope you could get the story well and be there, that there would be no issue regarding it. Till then, keep practicing and keep learning. Thank you.